Let's get ready to rumble!
Benzinga Nation, jam-packed show today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna.
The best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. We are back at it, back and ready to rock and roll. This is the Power Hour. This is the Trade Idea Show. So if you need ideas, you need market intel, you want to get rolling, let's hit it. Let's get after it. Yesterday, blood red day in the market. We were looking like we were about to have a nice 2% hit on the SPY. Don't worry, we came back. Today, we're looking a little bit better. I don't know about you guys, but I'm about back to where I was before yesterday. In the chat, I'm curious where everyone is at. Drop in where you guys are, how you're looking over these past 2 days, and then let's get into it. So a handful of things that we have on the docket for today. Let me give you the quick rundown. We're going to start it off strong with a couple trade ideas. All right, we're just going to jump straight into it today. We're going to get the trade ideas flowing. So that's the first part of it. And then at 12:10, we're going to be talking to Tracy Schuchert. She's going to be talking to us about oil. I also want to ask her some questions about her experience as a hedge fund trader, executing trades for hedge funds, what that world was like. So we're going to get into that. At 12:30 Eastern, we're going to have Dr. Robert Harari, the CEO of Cellularity, on the Power Hour, ticker CELU, recently de-SPACed. We had John Scully on the Power Hour yesterday. It's the company that he was going on and on about. We deliver for you guys. So we're following it up with the CEO of the company the next day. So if that does not deserve a like, a stream share, whatever it may be, I don't know what does. And then, guys, we got to talk NVIDIA. All right. Yeah, yesterday we sort of all gave our price predictions for NVIDIA, NVDA into the stock split today. Let's go after those and let's talk about those today. All right. That's the move. That's what we're rocking and rolling with. I said we're going to start it off strong with the trade ideas. So let's get after it. I'm going to go ahead and add my screen to the stream here. And I'm going to throw you guys a couple zooms. Check this out. This is an awesome resource that we have on Benzinga.com. I'm going to put the link in the chat. But check it out. This is basically insider trade ideas, right? There's this big universe of insiders buying and selling stocks. What we did is we did the work of basically boiling those down, aggregating those down into here's how you can pick actual ideas and get symbols out of this big flow of trade ideas that exist out there. And why is this relevant now? On a day like yesterday, when we had the market down 2%, we're looking for these buy the dip type opportunities. Buy the dippers win again. SPY up 1.5% today. But when the market's down and we're looking for these buy the dip type opportunities, one of the default resources that I like to turn to are insider trades. Okay. Like Jason always says, there's a lot of reasons why insiders will trade their own stocks. They could be selling it for taxes, they're getting divorced, whatever that may be. But if they're buying shares, they're doing it for one reason, which is because they think that their stock price is going to go up. And so when we hit a day where a lot of these small, mid-cap, et cetera, type stocks are getting hammered, I go to this page that we have on Benzinga. Again, the link is in the chat. It's a free page. And I look at what are some of these tickers that insiders are buying. And I'm going to call out two places in here that I think are especially interesting. So right up at the top, this piece that I'm about to highlight, multiple insider buys. What does that mean? These are stocks where more than one insider at the company is loading up on shares. Okay, so if we're talking conviction level, it's not like you just had one director who went in and bought shares. No, this is multiple insiders at the company all buying stock, right? So if we look at this one, this number 2, ticker PECO, what is that? Phillips Edison. we see that there were 3 insiders that bought shares of the company. Leslie Chow, Gregory Wood, Jeffrey Edison, and in aggregate, they bought $1.6 million worth of shares. Okay. So that's one that's interesting to me. I like to look for these big numbers too, right? So we had 5 insiders at this stock, all bought shares. We had 4 here, ticker ANIX. 4 insiders bought shares. The insider titles, so we see the first one at least was the CEO of the company, and in aggregate they bought $756,000 worth of shares, increasing their stake of the group's holdings by 23%. Okay, absolutely material. So that's the first place that I'm going to call out. The first 2 ideas where I'm seeing these nice clusters of insider buys in size, ticker PECO, stock number 2 ANIX. All right, and then I'm going to scroll this down to somewhere else on this page. Check this out. Penny stock buys. Okay, yesterday, what stocks got cracked? Every stock got cracked. Okay, that's the answer there. What stocks got the most cracked? It was a lot of these small cap, mid cap stocks, low price stocks. They took the most severe beating. So when we're in a day where the market's down, a lot of these smaller stocks are getting killed. I look at this as, okay, if I want to buy the dip, I want to look at where the insiders have been dumping money into their stocks, and take advantage of some of those. So check this out. I'm just looking at the first part of this page. I see this ticker DRTT. I see that an insider bought $7.5 million worth of the stock. Okay, when we're talking about a $4.50 stock, and an insider on one day buys $7.5 million worth of stock, that's a strong bet on the company. We keep looking. We see this one, Ring Energy, ticker REI. It's an energy play. We see the stock is at $2.49. Okay, $2.49. One insider, or I'm sorry, we have 2 insiders here. 2 insiders in total bought $2.8 million of their company stocks. All right. So again, these are stocks below $5 where insiders are buying in size. When we have a day where these are getting cracked, you want some ideas to buy the dip. These are all interesting. I mean, we see Ring popping up twice with 2 different transactions. That absolutely jumps out on my radar of this is a potential buy the dip candidate. From there, I'm going to go look at the technicals and make a play on it. All right, guys. So there it is. I'm going to put this link in the chat one more time. Check it out. I think on weeks like this week, it's an especially interesting page to check out, and especially on the days where some of these lower market cap, lower price stocks are getting killed, go to the insiders. Okay. We look at the insider sales, right? These are not stocks that I would buy on a down day, right? If I'm looking to buy the dip, insiders are selling, I'm probably not going to be buying these. Versus, you have insiders loading up on $3 million of their own penny stock. Boom. That's a catalyst right now. Let's look for fun at some of these stocks that insiders are selling here. Some high flying names. Snowflake, you've got 2 different insiders selling their shares in Snowflake. One of them was an $18.5 million sale. Another one of them, $868K million sale. That's telling me steer clear of snow. And then look at Carvana. Carvana, you have 2 $18 million transactions. Okay, the space has been hot. If we look at this chart of Carvana, we see that the stock has been hot. These are daily candles that we have here. I wouldn't touch it. $18 million, two different insiders, no way. So those are the moves, guys. And Bill Big D in the chat is saying, just stay away from penny stocks in general. Yeah, well, okay. We want to take on some risk. We want to make some trades. So there you guys go. I gave you the link. We also have the feed of all insider trades. So if you just want to be looking constantly at the stocks that insiders are buying and selling, take a look, see if there's any symbols you know about. We'll keep using this page as we go. But again, I think that on these buy the dip type days, this type of information becomes really relevant. So one more time in the chat, link is there. Check it out. I'm going to add producer AB onto the stream with us. AB, did you buy the dip on any stocks yesterday?
I did, Luke. I scooped up a stock that I love right now as kind of a hybrid play. I'm going to let you try to guess it. So there's a, stay-at-home thesis and there's a recovery thesis. So I think it covers both parts. And I bought the dip, and it's up about 2% today, I believe.
Okay. All right. That's not bad. You got SPY up 1.5. You got 2. 33% outperformance day one, producer AB.
It's actually 1 point. It's up 1.75%. So it's a tiny bit above the SPY right now.
All right. And guys, I'm gonna make the ask too before we get too far in. Check this out. You see this thumb on your screen? It's probably gray. We want you to turn it blue. All you have to do. So again, I'll make mine gray. It's gray. You click it. Boom. It's blue. Do that. Share the stream. Like the stream. We're having conversations as to whether or not we are going to keep running. So the more you like it and the more you share it, the more zingers we get in here, the more idea flow we get going.
So I want to see if you can guess this company. It's not a small, obscure company. It's a $320 billion market cap company.
$320 billion market cap. There's not many of those.
And like I said, there's a recovery thesis and a stay-at-home thesis.
So you've on both thesis on the same stock?
Yep.
Okay. Jeez, oh pizzo. Is Zoom that big? I don't think so.
Nope, it's not Zoom. Plus, I don't know what the recovery thesis would be for Zoom.
Yeah,
I think that's a tough one.
My first guess was going to be Alibaba, but I don't know how that fits into your stay-at-home or your recovery theses.
It's not Baba, but I do like Baba long term.
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to give it to me.
All right, it is the Walt Disney Company, ticker DIS.
Okay, DIS.
So here's the stay-at-home thesis is of course powered by Disney Plus. We've seen very strong numbers coming out from Disney Plus that they were able to grab, subscribers at a faster pace than Netflix, than HBO, all these other streaming services. And I think that Disney Plus is here to stay. We saw the other week with the Black Widow, I believe, movie it was, come out, and they just smashed, revenue numbers on an opening weekend where people were willing to pay, I think it was like $25 to watch it at home versus going out to the theater. So the Disney Plus is the stay at home. The recovery, of course, is powered by the Disney parks, all these other revenue streams that they missed out on during the COVID pandemic. So I think, Disney is one of those that you have exposure where if the recovery goes well and we're back to full-fledged capacity at amusement parks, that's great for Disney. If it doesn't go well, then hey, they still got the Disney Plus money rolling in. So this was one that I felt good about buying the dip yesterday.
Okay. So here's my problem for Disney. And guys, in the chat, drop us the 1 if you like Disney, the 2 if you don't. So producer AB just gave his bull thesis on the stock. Here I'm going to give my potential bear thesis on Disney. Here's what I think the concern is. We're looking at a 1-year chart of the stock right now. Let's even zoom it out. Let's go to a 2-year chart of the stock, right? Clear outperformance. What's been the catalyst? What's been the headline that's been driving a lot of that share price in Disney? It's the streaming. It's the Disney Plus, like producer AB mentioned. And it's not even the revenue from Disney Plus, right? It's the subscriber counts. And so the stock has been carried by that narrative. Does a time come when sort of the revenue lag that's taking place with the streaming, or I guess sort of the market becomes concerned with the revenue lag between the streaming and the number of users, and the share price starts to disintegrate from that. That's the concern that I have with Disney is we've been carried by the streaming narrative. Does the market start to become cold on that streaming narrative? It's not. I mean, it is revenue generating for sure. It's not crazily revenue generating yet. Does that start to catch up with the stock and leave us in sort of a sideways pattern for an especially long time? For that reason, the concern about those two narratives diverging, I've been out of the stock.
So wait, remind me, Luke, did you say 1 in the chat if you like Disney and 2 if you don't?
1 if you like Disney, 2 if you don't. That is the ask.
All right. Well, journalists, I know where you are, so you better turn tide. Or you know what? No, I'll make you a believer in Disney. Just you wait. I'll have to crunch some more numbers, but we'll be back.
Yep. And we've got a pretty mixed group.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
We got part 1s, part 2s. So the jury is out on Disney. Stock's been sideways for a couple months now. So all right, that's interesting.
I like. Okay, so Luke, there's a couple things about this chart that I do like. You know, I don't mind a stock trading sideways. I've said it before. I say it again. As long as there's not like a sustained, clear downward trend, which it looks like it looked that way for a month or two, but now we've consolidated and moved more sideways. And I will, bet that we're going to get back to those previous all-time highs of right around $200. I don't know if that'll be in the next 2 months, the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years. But this isn't, a short-term trade for me. This is one that I just buy the Disney stock. I sit on it, and I hope that it goes back up to its all-time highs, if not surpassing them.
All right, so there it is, and shout out to Ron Willis in the chat. Let's put this one up on the screen. Ron is saying, I got into Disney in 1999, still in and very happy. Let's see how far back our charts will go. If we can get a 1999 price, let's see. So 1999, let's say we had an average price somewhere around $32 per share on Disney, $176 now. Yeah, that's not a bad return. But look how many years Disney was just sideways for.
Yeah, not a great company.
That's like literally a decade, more than a decade, 12 years.
I also, now that we're looking at the chart right here like this, I don't like how it moved up so rapidly after.
Well,
COVID.
I'm telling you, okay, AB, you've been on this show, you've been talking to me. Why did it go up so rapidly?
We know why. It was Disney
Streaming.
Plus. It was Disney
I know.
Plus. But even like all beyond, even like the bull case that they put out for their streaming service, they smashed that. Like no one even, I don't think at the company knew how well Disney Plus was really going to do until.
Yeah, but you got to watch that number because there's so many free subscriptions that come with phone plans and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's
all right.
It's an inflated number.
Luke's a Disney hater. Luke is acting like he would slap Mickey Mouse right in the face right now if he walked into the Benzinga office. I would give Mickey Mouse a nice big hug.
I would give Mickey Mouse a hug too. If we want to look at some ratios really quick, so we see per our trusty Benzinga pro.benzinga.com, we see front quarter revenue of $15.5 billion. We multiply that out for 4 quarters. There's $62 billion. I go ahead, I click us over, so we see $314 billion market cap divided by 62. Let's do the quick math. So the stock is trading at 5 times sales, a little bit expensive, not crazily expensive by any means. It's not like this is an early Netflix type valuation. Remember when Netflix had crazy ratios, and there were so many Netflix haters out there, and revenue caught up. I do. That was a fun story to watch over the course of 3 years.
Netflix is one of those classic stocks that it got to a point and everyone's like, all right, it's getting a little overextended here, and then 3 months later it was 30% higher than it was and just continued to set all-time highs, which, by the way, Luke, big day for Netflix. We have earnings coming out this afternoon, and I think we will see either a Disney pop or a Disney sell-off based on these Netflix earnings that come out today. Other stocks that may move with Netflix would be Roku. Roku and Disney would probably be the 2 biggest that I'm looking at.
I'm going to put these tickers in the chat, guys. So producer AB is giving us a nice little preview. Netflix earnings today. Give us this. You have Disney is potentially going to move with that.
Ticker
Roku.
DIS, Disney, ticker ROKU, Roku, ticker NFLX, Netflix. Any others that come to the top of your mind? I mean, maybe we could throw Spotify in there for streaming. No, not as much.
You could get a Fubo though.
Maybe Viacom, CBS, Paramount Plus. I think those are the big three, though: Disney, Roku, and Netflix. We'll throw Fubo in there too. Fubo will be like the little brother of the three.
Yeah. Any other streaming stocks, guys? Drop them in the chat. I see Chris Catchy coming in with Comcast, CMCSA. Snap, maybe. Snap could potentially be one. So while we're on streaming, let's talk about something really interesting that I think is a hit to the traditional cable companies. So CNN out yesterday, producer AB, you actually brought this one to my attention. CNN came out yesterday with the press release that they're creating CNN Plus. So it's going to be a streaming live news service. And it's going to run concurrently with their current cable streaming. Okay, so you have CNN right now has their cable programming that they do all day. They're now going to be adding a second track, right? They're going to run at the same time. Similar type of content coverage, similar personalities that sound like they're going to be crossing back and forth. And basically the reason that CNN gave for doing this is they basically said, we make a ton of money by creating our content and licensing it out to the big cable networks. Those contracts stop us from licensing that same cable in a streaming capacity. Okay, so that's the problem, and so the solution that CNN is coming to is that they are actually going to be creating concurrent broadcasting that is going to be only for the streaming networks. So they're going to have one feed that's going to go to just cable. They're going to have one feed that goes to just streaming. The reason why I'm saying this is potentially an issue for the traditional cable businesses is that they sort of had this lockup, right, where they own that content. Nobody else had access to it. CNN is doing the workaround and creating literally just a second set of programming. So they have to hire 450 people in order to do this. So that way they can get around that. It takes a lot of power out of the hands of the big cable networks. And so that's why I think it's an especially interesting move.
Yep. And we do, Luke, have our first guest here. I think it's time to get to that. Just a quick preview. We have Tracy Schuchart, who's going to be talking to us about oil trade, some energy, as well as some of the inner workings in the hedge fund industry. Hedge funds have been an interesting topic over the last 6 months, Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's bring her on.
Let's do it. Tracy, welcome to the Power Hour. How are you? Oh, I think we got you on mute, Tracy.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
there we go.
Hello? Yes.
Hello, can you hear us?
Look, yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Excellent. Yes, we can. And Tracy, we only have a handful of minutes, unfortunately. So I want to jump straight into it. Can you give us the beat on the oil sector or the energy sector, maybe a little bit more broadly? We've had some volatile price movement. I know that you're the expert. So can you tell us what's caused that and where we're sitting now?
Right. Well, first of all, I mean, I think it's kind of like a threefold thing. First, we finally had an OPEC decision, right, where they're going to add more barrels on the market. So I did expect a pullback. I didn't expect that big of a pullback yesterday, although I did expect it to be in the 65-75 range for a little bit. But this bond move, this move in the U.S. Treasuries is exacerbating this move. Obviously, yields where they're sitting is affecting all kinds of inflation hedge trades. And so this move in the treasuries has forced people to basically take off a lot of their inflation hedges. And people were using oil as an inflation hedge more so than, say, gold.
Got it. And so let me ask you this question too. When you're looking at let's say the price of oil, What is the best indicator for that? Are you looking at the futures market? Are you looking at the front month, the continuous contract? What exactly pricing mechanism have you found is most useful?
Yeah, I mean, generally, yeah, generally, well, I look at the futures markets and then I look at the curves, right? Because you can tell like the near month curves and then sort of where the back end is going. So that way you can tell if the market's getting more backwardated, right? That's a little bit more bullish. Or if it starts to move in contango, then you can, kind of see a pullback in the market. And really what we saw is right when we were around 75, you kind of saw those calendar spreads start to collapse a little bit. So that was kind of an indicator that we were going to see a pullback in oil.
Got it. Okay. And so you saw the pullback. Are we still at downside risk? And I'll say this: I'm a USO shareholder. Okay, it's the ETF that tracks the price of oil. I know I'll get shit for that, but that's the reality of it. Nobody likes that instrument. I've been in the red for about 3 years now. I've had the position on for probably 5 years. How much forward-looking risk do I still have?
I mean, honestly, I manage a energy and materials portfolio for our family office too. And so our energy positions are much longer term. So right now, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of stalled out here in the $65, $75 range, right? Because look at it. We've made a $115 move to the upside, basically from that negative 37. So it doesn't surprise me. And once we start getting over $75, then we're having a problem with emerging and their regrowth after the pandemic, right? That starts hurting emerging markets. So really, I'm kind of looking for this market to stall out here just a little bit. And then looking into next year, I definitely think it's possible that we hit that $100 mark, although I don't think it's a sustainable price for any length of time, but I definitely think that we can see that out in 2022.
Okay. And outside of oil specifically, is there anything else in the commodity markets or in the broader energy space that catches your eye right now?
Nat gas, right?
Okay.
So U.S. nat gas is trading at a significant discount to TTF with European nat gas and JKM, which is the Asian nat gas contract. So basically what that means is that U.S. can export and still come under cost with the cost of transportation right now. And I think there's, a lot of room. I mean, we've had very depressed natural gas prices for 5 years now. So I think we see, spike in nat gas a little bit, as well as, it's going to be a transition fuel, right? So it's a lot of emerging markets, again, Asian markets, Central American markets, and African markets are going to be needing a lot of this. And so the way that I'm playing that, instead of like the UNG contract or with the futures market, is actually I'm in nat gas stocks. So something like Antero Resources, Sandridge are my two top picks for that market right now.
Okay, awesome. Well, Tracy, we're getting still having a little bit of technical difficulty, and your audio keeps cutting in and out on us. We were at least able to catch
Mine does?
the pick. Yeah, it does. We're gonna have to find a better day.
I have a new microphone.
It's a bad Tuesday.
It's a bad Tuesday. I got a new mic, so I have to figure out how to work it.
All right. Well, I appreciate you working through all the difficulties in the background for us, and coming on and talking some ideas. And once we're like a few more days into the new mic, we'll have to do this again because it's helpful. We don't spend nearly enough time on this show talking about energy markets, and it's something that we really ought to be doing.
Okay, well, thanks for having me, guys. Sorry about my audio.
No, you're fine.
No worries.
We'll get you on soon.
All right, cool.
Alrighty.
All
All
right,
right.
enjoy.
Thanks, Tracy. All right, producer AB. So boom, there we go. Tickers in the chat. Natural gas. I'm gonna read them off. UNGBOIL. Boil UNL. So if anybody is interested in that natural gas thesis, those are some of the ETFs to get exposure. Of course, you can do futures. ETFs are just easy and accessible. And producer AB, we have another big guest we're about to bring on.
Yes.
So guys, we have a big interview we're about to bring on. Company second day de-SPACed. So it's a fresh one on the market. After that, we're going to be talking in NVIDIA. We're going to be talking a buy the dip stock that I pitched yesterday. And we're going to look at how that trade is going. And then we're going to be pulling some tickers out of the chat. So stay tuned. Jam-packed show. Are you ready to rip it into this next interview, producer AB?
Yes, let's do it. But wait, one.
Dr. Robert Harari joining us on the Power Hour. It is a pleasure to have you here. Everybody, the company is Cellularity. The ticker is CELU. Charlie Echo Lima. Ukulele? I think ukulele is you.
Uniform.
Uniform. There we go. You're helping me out already. But Dr. Harari, we're honored to have you here. Thanks for joining us, especially in such a busy time when you just finished the de-SPACing process.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I guess, but before we dive into it, can you just give us a little bit of background on the company?
Certainly. So Cellularity is a company that is focused on delivering cellular medicines, all derived from the postpartum placenta, a platform that we are credited as discovering as really an ideal source of one size fits all cells that can be developed into medicines for cancer, for degenerative diseases, and for the future for treating what I call loss of human performance with age or as a consequence of illness. So we're, as you probably know, we're the one and only spinoff of a biotech company called Celgene Corporation. And we've spent the last 3 years after breaking away from Celgene in building our platform and building our technologies in different disease indications.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask a question just about the SPAC process and the de-SPACing process in general. A lot of companies have taken this route to become public. Was there anything that surprised you about that process as a whole? I don't know if it was incredibly time consuming, if there were challenges that you don't think you would have faced with the traditional IPO. There's just anything that was surprising for you as an operator of a business going through that process.
I think that all in all, we were quite satisfied with the Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation leadership, who we met through one of our board members and who shared our vision for creating a global leader in this industry. And although some of the requirements had shifted, some of the SEC requirements for the way Special Purpose Acquisition Corporations handled the accounting of warrants, which introduced a delay, all in all, I was actually quite satisfied. It was an efficient and relatively straightforward process. And I think we're seeing that we've come out of the de-SPAC in a relatively strong form, and we're optimistic about the future. Okay.
And yet yesterday on our show, we had John Scully join us, former president of Pepsi, CEO of Apple, very, very storied, or Steve Jobs storyteller. How did you get him involved in the company? That's something that I saw a lot of folks in the chat asking about.
I'm very fortunate. Over the years, I've gotten to know John and have become very friendly with him. And as you can imagine, like all of us, we're big fans of the work he's done with some landmark companies, really helping drive the process of innovation around what he has always described as the noble cause. And I think in the interview yesterday, he probably shared with you that he learned that language in working with with the legendary Steve Jobs. And that inspired me because I believe in many ways turning living cells into medicines is also a noble pursuit. To ask John to share his experience and counsel with us when we were formulating the plan to spin out of Celgene, and I was very fortunate to have John join as a founding director and also my vice chairman of my board. So the relationship goes back many, many years, and John's been a remarkable advisor.
Okay, and then there's also something with the Pope. You were awarded. You received an award from Pope Francis. So we have John Scully, we have Celgene, we have the Pope. I mean, there's a lot of like amazing connections here. Tell us about that one.
Well, as you probably remember, if you go back 20, 25 years when stem cells first emerged as a scientific platform, most of the work done to identify, procure, and then process those cells from embryos or fetal material was met with both controversy, but also a lot of technical hurdles. If you go back to 1999, 2000, when the predecessor company to Cellularity was first forming, we recognized that the postpartum placenta, the waste product of a full-term healthy pregnancy, in all likelihood was an ideal source of cells for this emerging field. And so I was very fortunate. I give my oldest daughter credit with kind of educating me about this when she was in utero. I spent several years interrogating the leftovers of these healthy pregnancies and found out that, in fact, the placenta is nature's stem cell factory. And it was very straightforward to create processes by which we procured these organs after birth under full informed consent, under very rigorous controls, and then isolated the cells from the organ and turned that into a raw material for the production of huge quantities of very, very high quality cells. And today, in things like immunotherapy for cancer, treating degenerative diseases, having an access to a cell that can be mass cultivated and expanded is very valuable. But consider that the placenta, because of its biology, is nature's perfect universal donor tissue. We now had a source material that could be used to produce a product that's one size fits all. And then you add to that the science around creating ways to manufacture and then store these cells for long periods of time in stable cryopreservation. It's the perfect off-the-shelf, one-size-fits-all inventoriable product for cellular medicine.
Okay. And so basically, because you had this different mechanism to get the stem cells, that's how the relationship with the Pope developed.
So the Pope,
right?
as you know, representing the Catholic Church, which at one time was somewhat resistant to the concept of using any source of cells which might compromise the integrity of a developing embryo or fetus, was acknowledging that our discovery that you can collect these cells from the placenta after the birth's been completed was a breakthrough meaningful of an innovation award. So the Pope was gracious enough to provide us with the Pontifical Award in Innovation for that discovery.
Okay. So I'm just going to keep us on the same track of this crazy network that we're going through. As we have Celgene, John Scully, the Pope. There's also a relationship with Palantir. That's a stock that we see talked about all the time in our chat, almost daily on this show. Can you tell us about some of that work that you guys are doing?
So again, very fortunate that Palantir, which has a deepening interest in the biological sciences and the healthcare industry, sought out an opportunity to discuss the possibility of working together. And as you know, as a company which procures cells and biological materials from donors, and those donors are all different, they're genomically different, they have different underlying molecular profiles, we entered a discussion where we wanted to use Palantir's computational and intelligence systems expertise to help us design tools to both interrogate and qualify the donors to our sort of cell libraries, and then use those technologies to figure out how we could predict which donors of which cells were predictive of a high degree of activity and safety, which donors might in fact confer certain biological properties that were useful clinically. And so this industry, cellular medicine, is still in its infancy. We saw this as a great opportunity to use that great capability to enhance the quality of our products.
Yeah, I mean, it's a super interesting business. I mean, an amazing problem that you're trying to solve. I guess coming back to the business and the treatment a little bit more specifically. I know you talked about, you're working towards solving this problem of human decline. Can you just go a little bit deeper as to what that means more specifically?
Certainly, and this is all work that is at a very early stage, that is buttressed by our work in immuno-oncology and in degenerative diseases. But as you can imagine, one of the great opportunities in the future will be to find ways to arrest or mitigate the degenerative changes that occur with aging. There's a growing wealth of literature, scientific literature, that strongly supports the concept that you might be able to improve the quality of and functionality of organs and tissues by restoring or enhancing the stem cell population that's necessary for the ongoing renovation and renewal of those tissues with age. So if you think about it, every human being, every organism is going through a process of renovation and renewal that's driven by stem cells. It seems like a logical next step that if you can enhance those stem cells, either by augmenting them or by supporting them somehow, you would actually improve the quality and performance and functionality of those organs and tissues in the aging population. So that's a long vision opportunity, but it's one of the things that always intrigued me about cellular medicine.
Okay, and I can tell by talking to you that this business is more than just a profit for you. It goes beyond just wanting to build a company that generates cash flow. What was it that I guess launched this passion to start the business, to try to solve these problems? I mean, is it an overarching vision that you have? Is there some sort of personal connection towards solving this? I'm curious as to how you got that spark, because I mean, these are, I imagine, amazingly difficult and big problems that you're trying to solve.
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and I think it speaks to how, as a surgeon scientist who is very interested in traumatic brain injury and to find ways to better manage and improve the outcomes for patients with those injuries. When stem cells hit the scientific literature, I was intrigued by the possibility that might be a tool we could use to restore function in a damaged, injured brain. And obviously from there, it expands into a whole host of other clinical applications. But suffice it to say that biologically, if you think about it, stem cells in our body are a repair kit. They're nature's repair kit. So if that holds true, then why not find ways to productize living cells to supplement that toolkit to treat a range of diseases. So I'm a believer that cellular medicine is here to stay. We already have cellular medicine impacting the way we treat cancer with things like engineered T cells, CAR T therapy, and so on. But the future, in my mind, is going to be using all of these tools, immunologic cells, engineered versions of those cells, stem cells that retain their kind of differentiation, versatility. All those things will be wrapped up into tools which will improve response to disease and injury, improve recovery, and ultimately maintain human performance as we age. That's where I think and where I believe this field has the potential to go. In the meantime, it is my job and my focus to get our programs in cancer and other serious diseases advanced to registration, so that we can use the profits and the commercial opportunity there to help fuel the future research that this company will do.
Okay, and let me ask you one more. This is typically the hardest question that I ask. But if you had to name one thing that you're most excited about on the horizon, what would that be?
Well, I have to tell you that I'm extremely excited about Cellularity's programs in natural killer cells, including versions of those cells which are engineered to express certain characteristics that make them really effective at working with, for example, approved monoclonal antibodies in cancer. And I'm extremely excited about our placental CAR T program, which will be an off-the-shelf, one-size-fits-all allogeneic alternative to autologous CAR T therapy. And because the placenta is such a rich source of cells, I believe that these products will have the quality and economics to help lead the industry.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Hariri, we appreciate you joining us on the Power Hour, giving us the breakdown. I mean, super interesting business. Clearly one driven by passion on your side. Crazy network. We covered from the Pope to Celgene to Palantir to John Scully. So we wish you the best of luck as you begin your life as a public company.
Really, really grateful for your time, and thank you. The questions were great, and I enjoyed being with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. One more time. Ticker Charlie Echo Lima uniform. Got the uniform. Got that correction right out of the gate. Again, Charlie Echo Lima uniform. There it is. Check it out. Back-to-back days talking about the stock. Again, if you missed it yesterday, make sure you go watch yesterday's episode. You can see it on the Benzinga YouTube channel, which you should be subscribed to if you want ideas, you want to have fun. You want to just hang out with a cool group in the chat, all right? Subscribe to that Benzinga YouTube. Check out the episode from yesterday with John Scully.
I loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah.
All right.
A good interview. And I mean, every day you bring in awesome guests, and I think we have to keep doing it, and we have to go 24 hours. That's what I think. That's what I think. That's on Aaron Bree. So
yes, sir.
I
got a couple things from that interview, but Luke, the one thing that I was kind of looking forward to, hopefully, was I wanted to get some more insight as to what Palantir actually does as a company. Because like we talk about this stock all the time, and it's still not exactly clear.
Well, I'll explain it to you. They build software platforms that let companies analyze their data better than they can themselves. They do custom stuff with like FBI and that kind of stuff, but they also have these 3 different platforms that let companies better analyze their data and do different things. So, I mean, obviously, what we should do is bring a customer on of Palantir to understand I get your question. It's a good question because once you understand it, you're way ahead of the game, man. And so if we can find a customer of Palantir, which I know we can, because that way we can see how their use case. That's like where I made my money in the markets is when I have advantages. We can bring Tom Nash on. He likes Palantir a lot. So why don't you have Tom come on Thursday or Friday?
All right, I'll reach out to him.
We missed Tom. We haven't had Tom on.
Yeah, why? Yeah, what's Tom?
Tom Nash. Last stock that he picked on this show was Apple.
Oh wow!
Really?
Amazing call. He picked it. It was what it was in the somewhere.
No, I didn't mean to do that. That was
20%. It was he picked a 20% rise in the biggest stock in the world. Okay, you can pick the mega cap stock.
Do you know what stock also he gave us back in like January on this show? That's just been on an unreal tear. I don't know any other chart that looks like this.
Give it to me.
Fortinet, ticker FTNT.
Wow.
Oh shoot, I own that from him.
Look at this chart. Is there any other stock? Is there any other stock out there that has a chart like this right now? And it's not. This isn't just a month. This is a year. This is like 8 months of just straight going up.
I bought this stock live on the show when Tom Nash pitched it to us. So if you guys missed it, you had every opportunity. You have no excuse.
I think it's still a buy. I mean, look at it. Like it doesn't look like it's gonna change course anytime soon.
This is like the straightest line ever.
I know. I don't know any other stock in the market that has a chart that looks like this. So shout out Tom Nash. I'll get him back on the show. I'll also look for some other Palantir customers because I do know, Jason, that
just so you know, you can always find Palantir customers in their filings. They have to put in their biggest customers' names, but those ones may be harder to get to. What I would suggest you do is go in a forum or like message boards, and you'll see people mentioned who are some of their customers, and that can make it easier. You
But
know,
okay, so a couple of things. I mean, I know the government contracts are a big part of their business. So
yeah, but you're not going to get government.
no, we're not going to get the FBI or the CIA. We'll have to get one of the private
You
companies.
need the Department of Defense to come on and say, here's exactly how we're using Palantir.
They would give us such cookie cutter answers that didn't give us like any actual insight.
Okay, couple quick things, Luke, because before you go, I don't know if I'm able to talk to you. I got nonstop call, whatever. But two things. One, where was it? I had a news item for you. Goldman Sachs guy leaving Bitcoin. What the heck was I going to say to Luke? Well, I get Callaway's up and golf is back up today. It went over 30. Remember, I bought some more on the show yesterday.
Oh my God! Now it's up 4. Early when I sent that to you on Slack, Jason, it was only up like 3%. Now it's up 4.8.
Boom!
Yeah,
Buy the dip play, 5% day on Callaway Golf. You heard it here yesterday, folks.
James says James has wrote an outstanding article thesis on Palantir. I don't know who James is, but Bree, can you follow up with Happy Muhammad and make sure he posted on Benzinga the thesis? James. My article again. Oh, he did write. Did he write this on Benzinga? I don't even know where it is.
Who's James? Happy.
James Santiago. You'll figure that out. But Luke, I have a couple quick questions. Sorry, guys, this is internal stuff, and I know sometimes you get annoyed when we talk about it. Luke, what's the site? Not New York Post, where they post gossipy stuff.
Daily Mail.
Thank you. I always do Globe and Mail. Okay, so I was looking at the front page changes. I know when we went over the mock-ups, there was one where it showed the most recent tab. You know, there was a site that had like most recent, like it was a tab on the top of the page.
Yep.
Do you know what site that was?
Insider.
You sure? Okay, let me check.
Here, look. You don't even have to check.
I just did. I'm checking.
Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, what?
I just put it up there for you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. This is what
I looked at that link right when we were on the show, Jason. It's pretty effed.
Yeah, this is so different. When you give them this work, do you show them the site that you're referencing?
Yes.
Jesus. I mean,
Jason, you know me well enough. I not only give the link to the site, I take the screenshots as well.
And draws little arrows to the point.
Yes.
Yes. So it's abundantly clear exactly what he's talking about. I'm aware as well.
That's how I communicate.
So annoying. I can't tell you. You know, when you ask me, do I want to see the front page before you? I mean, you guys.
You shouldn't have looked yet until I looked at it, because then you wouldn't have to spend your energy worrying about it. Well, I'll get it resolved, as you know.
I know James Santiago. Of course, we've spoken on the phone. I know him.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Just don't look at it until I tell you, because I'll get it resolved.
I know, but other people should have the eye for detail other than you, man. It's like the raising the level of awareness, and I gave it to Bree this morning because I asked him to get Charles Schwab on the Raz report, and I didn't hear back. I followed up once, and then I never heard back for 2 weeks. And so it's like I know I want people to communicate and then have an eye for detail like you, Luke. Not just you, and I know they have it in them. I feel like people do.
I will give a shout out, producer AB. He knows where I hang out on Sundays to do my work. Came and hung out with me and talked through some ideas.
Hey, Luke, will you tell producer AB what I asked? I guess Luke doesn't know why I'm saying it. So we are giving out $50 to 3 different people this week for trying experiments at Benzinga. We have this thing about experiment, make better mistakes tomorrow, try things, don't care if you fail. And so we wanted to give out 3 awards, and so I asked Luke, Bree, if you had any experiments worth noting, because I wanted to recognize you, because what I did appreciate was on Saturday when Luke and I were working at my house, we called you and we were able to get a hold of you, no issue, and we had a nice chat. So I was trying to recognize you for, some experiments this weekend, but we didn't have anything else.
I do have updates on that of what we spoke about on Saturday regarding, finding new shows, finding new show hosts. So I will consider that an experiment. But Luke and I also discussed on Sunday, trying to optimize some SEO, some search engine optimization for our quotes pages, because currently I just don't like that if you Google Apple stock, our Apple quotes pages doesn't pop up on like the first full 2 pages. And it's like, what's the point of having these pages if no one can find them? So that there's kind of 2 experiments I'm
Yeah.
working on right
So
now. But
what I would do is check in with Vin to make sure the technology is right on that, and then do the other stuff. Have sublinks to it, and
Well, I told AB, see if he can find a badass SEO guy.
but he doesn't
using our favorite.
No, but
I did. I
if he wants UPWK, right?
I threw an Upwork ad out there. I've got a good couple.
We make it the trial. We find 3 guys who we think are awesome. We make it a test experiment for them to do like an initial mock-up and recommendation set.
Well, it's also we got to make sure it's the right JavaScript and delivery and the speed. Like, things need to load prior. Hey, if you guys are product managers and have an eye for detail or developers, hit me up. This week, me and Luke are building, and I guess Bree, until the end of this weekend, a bunch of stuff. Luke, we got to get corporate mock-ups. So we need you. Right now is the time to press on and deliver value for our users, because we know we can, and we haven't moved fast enough on some things like a mouse over button. Like, seriously, I get sick about some of this shit. Honestly, the problem is I get sick and I think it's probably bad for my health. So I don't know.
No, you're right. I don't know why I'm laughing, but that's true.
RK Harris, if you're awesome, let us know. Shelly Sharano, you can create your own job as an intern here. It's not about us hiring you. It's about you hiring us. You show what you can do, and you could do some of this stuff. You're hired. We don't need to do a long drawn up thing. Just show your value in a week, and you're hired. Aaron Bree came from follow me on Twitter. So
I can bring her on. I can help her set up an internship thing.
There's no job application, so to speak. My status on 6 SIX, I bought a little more. I'm not saying you guys do that, but I bought a little more. My 6 and 60 Quebec is not playing out like the way I want. It's not going to hit there. I'm going to probably lose on the call options, but I'll make money on the stocks. Pull up 6 SIX.
Yeah, Luke's still got his screen. We do have.
We got to jump on a call, guys. So AB,
I know.
Yep.
It's not just organic SEO, but we're talking about for quotes.benzinga.com, internet enforcers, not for the main site as much, more for quotes.benzinga.com. I know you sent over that helpful stuff. I'm aware of that. And, we have teams doing.
But I do have I have some visual UI things I would tweak on the quote pages, but I'm pretty sure I talked to Luke and we had just redone all of them. So I don't know if it'd be not feasible to do some more visual changes to the quotes.
There's always improvements. There's too many heads in the kitchen sometimes. Hey, what does simp mean? This Chelly said I'm simping for Jason now. I know simping's a popular word right now.
It's it just means that they're
what?
Head over heels.
Really? Okay. And then Mike Wisdom said Verb is on sale. He just bought 100 shares. Will you type in Verb into the system?
Yep.
Wait. 6 is up 7% today.
Yeah. It's up 7.5%.
I didn't even know that. I gotta go check that out.
Big green candle.
It's not my birthday today, so I don't know what you're talking about. But okay, will you type in Verb real quick, because it's 102.
Verb is down 8% today.
I know, but will you go to news, Benzinga news? I'm done with this chart shit. Okay, you all you care about is charts. I don't give a shit about charts.
Understood. We're going to the BZ news. Looks like we have nothing from today. The latest.
What's the market cap? Does it say?
Market cap is 188 million.
All right, so they didn't get to it. All right, I don't even know what they do. You go to the about us in the bottom right corner in Benzinga Pro. This show is as Internet Enforcers want me to say. He wants me to say this show is sponsored by Benzinga Pro. This Benzinga Pro allows us to put on this show. If you're a listener of this show, please join Benzinga Pro today.
Verb Technology Company, Inc. is a software as a service, or SaaS, applications platform developer. Its platform is comprised of sales enablement business software products marketed on a subscription basis. The applications are available in both mobile and desktop versions. It includes Verb CRM, customer relationship management application, Verb Learn.
All right, that's good. So 2 things. Happy Muhammad, you're good enough that you can get paid here. We can figure out how to roll that, even bigger. That'll impact the outcome. But guess what? You've made more money than people probably even getting paid. You made 100% of your portfolio. So there you go in the last 2 months. Amazing. So, hey, power hour at benzinga.com. And listen, if you're listening to the show, email your broker or email Yahoo Finance or email anyone. Say that you would love Benzinga News on their platform or more Benzinga News. then send a screenshot to powerhour@benzinga.com of your tweet to the brokerage with a screenshot, and we will send you swag, either a track jacket, t-shirt, and now they're turning them around like quickly. We're doing the shipments out 3 days a week. So come on, let's go and follow our Instagram account on Benzinga. We have to get to 30,000 Instagrams by the end of August, or August, or we close down our Instagram account. So please do that. Thank you for being here. Listen, Zinger Nation is about the community. So if one of you guys in the community want to help host a show tomorrow or what have you, let us know. Don't be nervous. This is about the community. This is how it works here. We want you guys involved. Don't be afraid to take that step in your life, face obstacles, do something that you're uncomfortable with, and go for it. That's what it's about. Exactly. Give Happy Muhammad some of Mitch's money. I hear you, Bill Big D. We got to find roles for different people that can impact the outcome and find results. I know Internet Foresters has a lot of ideas. I just wish he could just like hit a button and just jump in and do this stuff, because I can't right now focus on, SPG up 5%. I can't right now focus on video stuff. I can't even look at it. And I would love
there's in the Benzinga Pros news feed, there's an alert on NVIDIA said it's forming a bullish pattern. So that's interesting to me.
On which one?
On NVIDIA, ticker NVDA.
You love NVIDIA.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. POWW, is it still at $7? I used to own POWW for a while. You can ask me about any stock. I pretty much have the basics understanding of most stocks, or not most, but like larger. Yeah, C73. I haven't seen it got out of this range for a while, so I'm a wait and see on POWW. If I see it break 810, I'll be a buyer of POWW, but I'm not right now.
Raz, are you still selling shares of Tesla?
I sold 20 last week at around 660, I think 670. I have not sold any more this week yet.
So do you have a catalyst where you would buy back in? Like, is it a news catalyst? Is it a price thing where if it got down to 600 flat, you would buy more? I mean, what do you think there?
I'm so frustrated right now with Tesla from a development standpoint that I don't know what to say.
Okay. I like that. Sometimes it's good to just sit on your hands.
Like, my Tesla lease is over, okay? So I have an S, but really, do I go get another S? Yes, the inside of it has changed, but the outside hasn't changed one iota. It's like, are you excited? If you have a lease, are you excited to go get the same exact car? I don't know. I mean, how do they not make any changes? I know margins. I mean, we had Sandy Monroe on the show. Margins, I get it, but no changes to the outside. Why do I want to go get that thing? So.
Okay, someone in the chat threw out Boeing. Looks like on the Benzinga news feed we have some unusual options, some call sweeps coming in at 210. I mean, look, it depends on your time horizon. I think if you're looking to buy and hold for years, then I think Boeing will get back to these pre-COVID levels of $330. This is a stock that had other problems besides just the COVID pandemic. Of course, the Boeing Max plane was going down, and now they're getting ready to start flying it again in China, doing some testing. And if that comes back to the market, I think we could see Boeing back at around, we were up to 275 back in March. So I think Boeing's an interesting play here, but it all depends on your time horizon.
Yeah. We didn't make it to 100 today in the legs. I think we're at 92.
Okay.
But it's okay. Whatever.
Well, we need to get over to 100. We got to get over to Neil, or he's going to be mad at me.
Yeah, get over to Neil. But guys, thanks for coming in. Check us out in the Benzinga Pro chat. We're in the chat rooms. We need you there. We want to find ideas together, and that's where you make a market. I mean, it's why I, increased my Callaway. I bought some shares live in the show, and I bought more shares before the close yesterday of Callaway. And I bought enough that if I want to sell like a 10% of the position by the end of this week, it'll be fine. And I think Callaway goes to 40. But listen, guys, timing the market's hard. I'm directionally usually right on my stocks that I pick. But I'm always like the months, the 3 months, 6 months, that part sometimes takes time to catch up with me. And I'll always show you my live portfolio, whatever you want to see. We're at 106 likes. Thanks for doing that. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell so you get notifications. We need to get to 120,000 subscribers so internet enforcers won't keep yelling at me, okay? That's what I say, and that's my day. I had a different rhyme, but it wasn't appropriate. So,
and to that, on to Neil. Get technical. Oh, by the way, on the topic of golf, Jason, next time you come to the office, you might have a little golf-related surprise on your desk.
Well, all I'm telling you is I went to this place at 8 o'clock last night to 9 to try to learn how to putt because I have a match tomorrow. This match, I don't know how to putt. I tried the Bryson arm lock. I messaged Bryson. He didn't get back to me. I found this golf pro that trained this other guy. I sent him like 10 minutes of videos. I have all these golf putting videos that I filmed myself yesterday. And my putting, I don't know what to do. Do I putt left hand low tomorrow? Do I putt?
What about Josh? What about Josh's way?
Josh's way. You know what? It wouldn't hurt me. You know what? I forgot what his way is, but I think I may go that way. You know what? It'll just be like sentimental, and I'll try to do really good because it's his way.
Exactly.
You honestly just may have hit a chord. I was trying everything. My putting, if someone could, I try the claw. I try the claw. I try the reverse. I try this. I could show you all this stuff. I don't know what to do, sir. Thank you.
Right, elbows out to the sky, locked in. And then just go with your shoulders. Don't even think about your arms.
Your elbows aren't to the sky. They're sideways. What do you mean your elbows?
No, like they're up instead of like my arms being like this. They're turned outward.
What do you stand up?
Okay. All right. I guess they're not to the sky, but they're outward like that. And then you just move your shoulders.
No, they're not. You mean your hands are facing the front is what you're saying.
Yeah, instead of like this, like so instead of being able to
the microphone is blocking you, just so you know. The microphone is blocking you.
Instead of like this being able to see, like this would be normal, like my normal golf address when I'm putting, it's like out like that. And then my arms are locked and you just move your shoulders.
You know, if you got rid of the pro thing, I could see what your hands are doing. I can't see your hands.
Okay, hold on.
Pendulum movement. I would love the pendulum movement.
Yeah, essentially that's what this is trying to create. It's so your arms are locked and you're just moving your shoulders, not your arms.
I try that, but the hardest part is when you start the stroke. Because you'll get there, put the club in your hand, put a ball there. When you start the stroke, it's the pendulum needs to somehow start, and it, you know.
Well, hey, we've got some. Like I said, you've got.
Is that how you putt?
Yeah.
You're doing arm lock.
I mean, my arms aren't locked like Bryson's, but they're. I try to keep my elbows in against my chest, in against my stomach, like my abdomen.
So stand up. One more time. Stand up, please. I need to see your hands here. I'll get. Okay, now I got a view. Let me see your hands. Okay, are your palms facing each other? Or are they facing forward?
So my forearms are facing out away from my body, but my hands obviously have to be like in to hold the club, and then it's just shoulders.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, we're gonna get in trouble from Neil. So love you all. Thank you guys for your support. And please, if you're not, go to benzinga.com, like, share on your social media. All the help you can provide will be great. And we want to get you in our beta users of the new benzinga.com. So work with Aaron Bree. Love you.
Peace. All right, guys, stick around with Neil. I'm going to hop over with him. We're going to do some technical analysis, and we'll see you over there.